It's about freaking time I talked about Rome Total War. It's only the most talked about one in the series, and the one that many fans compare the newer games to. It's many people's first, and while I can't say the same for me, I still respect the hell out of it for being a landmark title for its time. Even though a game can be revolutionary for its time, doesn't mean it's still worth playing today. So is Rome Total War still worth playing 15 years later? Well, we're about to find out. If it is, if it's not, either way, I'm dressed up for the occasion and I want to do this. It's finally about time I freaking tackled Rome Total War. Cue the montage. As you start the campaign, you are only given a choice of 3 factions to play as: the Julii, the Brutii, and the Sciptii. In this one, Rome is split up into 3 families, which is pretty ahistorical for the execution, but it offers up some interesting gameplay mechanics that I'll get into later on. Now don't worry, as there are other playable factions. You see, this is back in the day when DLC was not a thing, and you unlock new content by doing things. In this case, you either beat the faction on the field or you complete the campaign to unlock them all.
Hey Papa, does that mean I get to play as Spain?
No, unfortunately not every faction can be unlocked. By the way, why are you wearing that helmet? What happened to your hat?
Oh, I decided to get into character for the review. Do you like it, Papa?
Yeah, looks good. Now, can you leave?
Oh, sure thing, Papa. But first, I gotta tell you something. Can we go to the living room?
Can't wait.
Okay, I understand. But remember, if I don't get to see you, the main is gonna get you.
Anyways, you choose a faction and get a pretty cool introduction video. If only the main campaign of Rome 2 had these. Still, I don't want to make this a comparison video, so let's move on. I picked the Julii since they're based off of the house Julia, where Julius Caesar is from, and they actually wear the red Roman colors. If you choose to play the long campaign, your goal is to conquer 50 provinces, as well as be in control of Rome. Obviously, this won't be easy, involving in the way of diplomacy, intrigue, and of course, battle. And speaking of the battles, they still hold up very well today. There are a good variety of troops within the different factions, all offering you various tactics to play with. Heck, they even got war dogs. While there is a bit of unit imbalance, it's still enjoyable. Melee combat especially is incredibly satisfying. It's crazy how collisions and melee is handled much better with the old engine than the new one currently. It's almost night and day as you feel the weight of every collision, especially when using cavalry. And of course, I gotta mention the battle speeches. I just love how dynamic they are depending on a multitude of factors. They're so well done and get you so pumped for the upcoming battle.
We have a slight advantage in numbers, but no lives can be thrown away today. We cannot afford such profligacy. That said, their skills and training are formidable. More than force will be needed today. Tactical savvy at all levels is required. Our brave horsemen must wait to do their work until a breach has been opened in the enemy defenses. I have fought these men many times, and even now they must be praying to their false gods for mercy. They will have little enough of it from me. I have won many great victories for Rome. Be strong in that truth, and let this be one more. March on, and know that our victory is assured as long as we live and die like true Romans.
This is Roman! Yes, I believe in the heart of the cards.
Yo, get out of here, man. You always ruining momentum, man. Get out of here.
Oh, I understand, Papa, but it's very important that you see me soon. Your life is in danger.
Wait, what? Okay. It looks like I can't throw caution to the wind anymore, and we have to be careful. Let's move on. What I loved the most about the battles was the pacing. Small battles were dealt with quickly, while large battles felt epic, but with very little downtime. Unlike the newer Total Wars, I felt more inclined to play each battle, as there was a nice variety of small and large battles. In Rome 2 especially, many of the battles lack weight for how many full stacks you end up facing.
Battles are obviously a huge part of the game. I mean, it wouldn't be Total War without it. But it's not just that. Rome Total War features one of the most interesting and dynamic campaigns in the whole entire series. And trust me, we have a lot to get through, so bear with me. Let's do this.
As a Roman, you have the Senate to deal with. They will assign you various missions to complete, such as taking over a settlement or blockading a port, all for the glory of Rome. Completing these missions can net you various bonuses such as money, some military units, and even a better chance to have members of your family be elected to positions of power. While being in these positions doesn't net you more control, it does increase the stats of your generals, these stats being command, management, and influence. More on those attributes later. Failing things can lead to negative effects such as losing popularity with the Senate and the Senate revealing my secret.
My secret? Don't tell me. They know.
The Senate also tells you who you should and should not crush under your might. Depending on how the wind blows, the Senate will tell you that a certain faction should no longer be considered a friend of Rome. I'm honestly not sure what causes their change in disposition towards outsiders. It's so freaking random.
Overall, the Senate is an annoying pain, just like the Pope in Medieval 2. Unfortunately, there's not really a way to game the system like you could in that game. However, this ties in with the interesting campaign that I mentioned, how in the late game, the Senate can get very suspicious if you become too popular with the people.
Hey, Papa, you know that the people love me, right? I'm very popular with the people. They're gonna want me to take over these channels soon one day. Already.
Oh my goodness, what is your problem? Get out of here!
Man, why you so aggressive? I've been trying to tell you something the whole time. I've been trying to save your life, Papa.
This is getting way too suspicious. I need to finish this review as quickly as possible.
So back to the generals. Command represents military skill, management is how well they manage a town, and influence helps increase public order. While I prefer the attributes of Medieval 2 with its chivalry and dread mechanic, I still found every character here to feel unique in their own way. These men are a part of your family tree, so already you develop a connection with them, knowing that's your grandson out there kicking ass for the glory of Rome.
What I love about generals is the way that they didn't just level up, instead they gain traits through the actions that they've taken, or they gain them through genetics. For this, it feels much more like a simulation than an RPG, and I love this approach better. For lack of a better term, it's just less gamey.
I also love the nicknames each character can get. Shout out to Numerius the Ugly. Was a military genius, but boy, he was ugly. Similar to how gunpowder gets introduced in the later years of Medieval 2, the Marian reforms take place. This replaces all the Hastati and Principes you can recruit with auxiliary and legionnaires. While getting new badass units is awesome, you cannot upgrade your old units to these new ones, and they also can no longer be replenished. This means you're forced to use your obsolete units as you slowly introduce the new units in.
I'm not sure if this was the intention or not. I mean, I guess it makes sense since you can't just like change all your Hastati, your whole army into legionnaires. But still, I preferred how it was handled in Rome too, how you had to pay a fee in order to upgrade the unit.
But of course, the big event would be when you finally go against Rome and seize the capital for yourself. There are numerous things to achieve this. Piss off the Senate and they will ask you to go kill yourself. Gain popularity with the masses and they will urge for you to take over Rome.
And when you finally take arms against the Roman Senate, it's freaking satisfying to know that you are on top of the world and it's yours to lose now. You control Rome, you control the world.
While Rome Total War is considered a masterpiece by many, there are some elements that haven't aged well, especially with the campaign. A majority of your campaign will be done in siege battles. Total War has always done better in open field battles, and these can get repetitive over time as many factions don't upgrade their cities well. So you end up using the same tactics over and over again with no need to change. This is also where you will see a ton of pathfinding issues trying to navigate units through the city, especially for your cavalry. This can get frustrating and make battles much harder than necessary. The engine used here is the same found in Medieval 2. This means that each city can only build one building at a time, making this incredibly tedious for building up your city. And the same goes for unit recruitment. While it was approved in Medieval 2, here you can only hire one unit at a time, and some units require 2 turns. It also doesn't seem like you can have multiple recruitment slots, so it's another limitation that only ends up slowing down the game. While this game has a fairly strong late game, I hate how big of an issue public order becomes. You have to leave enormous garrisons in each city just to keep everyone from rioting, as well as a low tax rate, since there are a lack of buildings to address this.
It makes no sense because you gain popularity with the plebeians, the people in the late game, so what's their beef? I thought it was their hero, their savior. I thought they loved me.
Don't even get me started on diplomacy. Other Total Wars suffer from this as well, but alliances and ceasefires are broken all the freaking time. For example, one minute the faction Dacia becomes a client state in the House of Brutai, then in 3 turns, they will turn on their masters. I just don't get the point of ceasefires and alliances, as there's really nothing stopping the computer from breaking them. This may ultimately stem from AI issues. During battles, they do a competent job reacting to your moves and utilizing the terrain to their advantage. However, the campaign AI is all over the place. It's like they don't have much of a plan, especially when they besiege your settlements, knowing they hold the disadvantage if I force a pitched battle. What I find funny is all the flack people give Total War regarding how ahistorical the games can be, especially the newer ones. However, this one probably suffers the most from it. I already mentioned how Rome being split up into families isn't historically accurate, but there are a ton more, such as the Greek states being one faction when they're actually split up and weren't united at all at that time. I can pretty much say the same thing about Spain too.
You see, that's my problem, Papa. They can never get our history right. Did you know Spain wasn't even Spain at that time? It didn't become Spain until the 15th century when the houses of Castile and all the other places was united by Habsburg Spain in the 15th century. Comprende?
Well, that was an interesting history lesson. Thank you for telling us, telling me, telling the fans. I appreciate it. I guess you can give an applause.
Hey, you're welcome, Papa. Hey, God bless you, because you're gonna need it for what's gonna happen to you later.
But even with these issues, none ruin what is an amazing game even after all these years. With the wide variety of units and factions to play with, there's enough content to keep you busy, especially for how enjoyable the game is to play. If you hate the Senate and just want to do your own thing, I recommend you play as a non-Roman faction. It's definitely enjoyable, especially with a different starting location and different units to play around with, including those overpowered elephants.
Overall, it's a great Total War game that still stands up, and it's still worth for every Total War veteran to take, and even people not too familiar with the series. Heck, it's almost sacrilegious if you don't play this game or avoid it entirely. Heck, there's also a ton of mods to play with, and the fan community is still very active. While I do personally prefer Medieval 2 for many reasons, really the chivalry, dread mechanic, and all that was influenced, and the time period, I will say that this game is still worth your time. Now, I gotta go see Uncle Ramon, or I may not exist anymore. Excuse me. Whew. Okay, I'm here now. What is it?
Okay, Papa, this is what I need to ask you. What is your favorite kind of adobo?
Come on, are you serious? That's really what you want to ask me?
Oh, no, that was just a way to make sure you're paying attention. Comprende?
Alright, what is it? Get to the point.
Okay, Papa, I will. You see, the main is after your life. She's gonna kill you.
Okay, well, who is she?
Miss Assassin.
Are you kidding me? She's after me again? What's her problem?
That I don't know. But the reason I do know that she's after your life is because she's my girlfriend.
What? No way. She is way too hot for you.
Man, what you trying to say? You trying to say I'm ugly, Papa? Man, I'm a handsome man. I got a long mane and she liked my shirt. Comprende?
Yeah, whatever. But what's the plan? What are we gonna be doing?
Oh, don't worry about that, Papa. Everything is going according to plan.
Wait, what plan? What are you even talking about?
Tú, Ramón. You see, Papa, the possibilities are endless. With me and my love running this channel, there's nothing that can stop us. Papa, 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 Papa. Wake up, Papa. Man, is everything okay? You look like you were having some type of nightmare. You were tossing and turning around like a fish.
Yeah, I guess so. Just felt so damn real. What are you doing in here anyways?
Oh, I just made some mango and I was gonna tell you it's time to eat. Cause man, you've been looking kinda skinny lately.
I know that seems to be everyone's concern.
By the way, are you ever gonna tell the people what happened after your Silent Storm review?
Yeah, I should. Maybe one day.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll see you in the kitchen. Ven a comer.
Well, if that's the case, I'm about to feast on some mango and I'm about to head out of here. As always, thank you guys for watching. And this is Pow3rh0use signing off. Man, why is a woman that freaking gorgeous always trying to kill me? It makes no sense.